On this James the Bike Guy, we're taking a look at the 2020 Trek FX1 disc. This is the entry-level version of Trek's fitness hybrid series, the FX line. And for the first time in 2020, the FX1 is available in a disc brake format. So we're going to go over the features, design, and then of course we'll find out exactly what it weighs. But before we get to that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That way you can see more videos like this into the future. So the Trek FX series is Trek's fitness hybrid line. So that means it's going to be a more sporty position, sporty geometry and handling with some smooth tires so you can go pretty quick on the road. But of course it's going to have many of the durability aspects of something more like a mountain bike. So this bike is going to run 700C wheels, which is a good diameter, as well as 35C width tires, which is going to allow you to be able to have enough control and ride on things like gravel, packed dirt, that sort of thing. Because it's a hybrid, it's certainly not a mountain bike, but you're going to be able to do quite a bit of different types of riding with it. So looking at the bike here, the first thing to mention is that this is going to use Alpha Gold aluminum. So Alpha Gold aluminum is a mid-level aluminum from Trek's lineup. What it's going to have is shaped tubing. There is going to be some manipulation to it, but this bike is going to run mostly internal cable routing, some external with a quick release in the rear, and then up front it's going to run a steel fork. So the fork blades actually look like they're going to be aluminum, but in fact they're steel. But they do run a flat mount disc connection as well as something called through skew. What through skew is it's basically a quick release skewer, just like a normal bike, but instead of dropping straight out, it threads in and out just like a through axle. So that's going to give both a little extra support to the front end of the bike, but more importantly, it's going to make it much easier to install and remove the wheels on this bike. Now the bike, of course, because it's a hybrid and because this could be used for commuting as well as fitness riding, it's going to have fender and rack mounts integrated, all sorts of connections there. You're going to have a rear mount kickstand option, and then what I really like on this is going to run a spot for the Duo Trap S. So that's a sensor that you can add, compare up to your smartphone or most bicycle computers these days, and that allows you to have an integrated sensor to connect with speed and cadence on the bike. Now in the cockpit area, this is what's going to differ pretty greatly between the FX2 and the FX1. So this is actually running standard threadless stem, running a 25.4 clamp to a handlebar that's going to have 30 millimeters of rise, and then it's going to have these integrated shift and brake levers. So this is a little more basic cockpit connection on this bike, but that's what helps bring down some of the cost compared to the FX2. The fork, of course, being steel, that's another place that changes. And then the next thing that's going to be a big difference is actually in the brakes. So this is running the Tektro MD U310 brakes. That's a mechanical flat mount disc. So it's got 160 rotors, front and rear on the bike. It's a mechanical brake. So instead of hydraulic, you're going to have a standard cable. These actually feel pretty good and work really well. For a drivetrain, this bike is going to be a 7-speed setup, running an Altus M310 rear derailleur, a Sunrace MFM 300 freewheel, which is a 14 to 34 spacing, and then up front, it's going to have a Shimano Tourney TY510 top swing front derailleur with a forged alloy crank that's square taper with a 48, 38, 28 chainring selection. So that's actually decent gearing range for a bicycle like this. It is more. So overall, I think the spec is pretty nice. I'm excited that for 2020, you can get an FX1, an entry-level version of Trek's FX lineup in a disc brake format. I'm really happy to see that through skew up front. I think is a pretty cool feature and going to make life a lot easier. But let's go ahead and find out what this thing weighs. The actual weight of the 2020 FX1 disc is 28.2 pounds. Well, thanks for watching this video on the 2020 Trek FX1 disc. Go ahead and let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this bike, what you might change about it, or what you'd prefer to see. While you're at it, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're not already, as well as hit the thumbs up button, letting me know you enjoyed the video.